Hey there everyone, today I'll be showing you how to make an inventory system like this. When you load in, based on your inventory, just close it real quick. You'll be able to see your stats and equip them. For example, I have a wand, I already have it in my inventory. If I want to equip the sword, get to my inventory. It's pretty simple concept. Yeah. Alright, so let's get into it. For this, you'll need to know how to make module scripts, how to use them, and that's the most important stuff. Everything else you can learn along the way, and it's pretty quick to learn. So what we'll do is we'll start by going into replicated storage and creating a module script. We're naming this to create inventory. It will have other functions, but yeah, if you don't know how to do this, I don't have a video on this yet, maybe later. So right now we're going to create a table of all the inventories of all the players. This will make sense later. Right now, let's start off with the first function. This is to create the inventory, and this variable parameter user ID makes sure that every single player has their own, since everyone has their own unique ID, but you can have the same username because of Roblox, and it would suck if your inventory was gone once you change username. Here we're going to check if you don't have a username, inventory to your username, user ID. And that will create an empty one. That's it for that function. Move on to the next one. That one's pretty simple. Next one's to add to inventory. For this first tutorial, the part 1 will be adding decals to make it look like you have weapons. Part 2 will be inspector and actually equipping them, since the video is going to be too long. Okay, I'll start explaining after I write the function. Basically, this lets you add an item to inventory of this user ID. That's basically it. Also another simple one. This can be used for later, but it's not going to be used very much in the tutorial. Return means the value, whatever is returned is, okay. This will be returned when you call this function, whoever's it is. That's all with the module script. Believe it or not, that's all we need for now. The next thing going on is going to be making a thing. Start with the GUI. Go into start GUI, screen GUI. Name this. I name it mainframe, and I'm good. Actually, no, main GUI. The frame will be right after, and this I'm going to name mainframe, and I'm going to make this full size but transparent so I can put stuff. I'll explain it later, but it'll make sense, I promise. Alright, looks perfect. Go back into view to get, not toolbox, to get proper explorer. Make sure to have ignore GUI inset. What this does is when you play, there will always be a little bit of a gap over here unless you click this. Alright, next thing we're going to do in the mainframe, we're going to leave that empty for now, but we are going to make it transparent. This is going to be for the next tutorial, don't worry. We're going to add the actual inventory. See here, you can either do another frame, or what I like is a scrolling frame so you can have a lot more space. Name this to inventory. Make sure the anchor point is 0.5 to 0.5 and set 0.5 0.5 position. Let's mix it in the middle, and now you can expand it. If you press shift while doing this, it'll make perfect square. Not a bad thing, you can check where it is here. I'll make it a bit wider later for everything. Alright, now honestly that looks kind of ugly, so I'm going to set the background color to this and transparency to 0.3. That already looks a little bit better. Actually no, I think that's too light. Let's make this more like this. Better. Here we are going to add a UI grid layout. Basically what this does is it makes little cubes. Oh shoot. It makes little cubes inside of your inventory that you can change inside of a local script or a script. That's what we're going to use for the items in the inventory. So you don't need to change anything there. We'll change everything in the script. UI stroke time. This just makes a nice and neat border. Nice. And the last thing is we're going to make a local script. I named this show inventory. And for short. Okay, start off with local frame. I'll just do inventory equals script.parent local rs or replicate storage equals game get services get service replicate storage. This is better than dot replicate storage since sometimes there could be bugs, etc. All right. Now this is, if you don't know how to require, watch your video on module scripts. So basically we're going to reference the inventory module. Require basically states it. We go replicate storage dot create in, right? And now we're going to go local user ID, or in this case player first. Players.local player. You can do this into local script and local user ID equals player.user ID. Pretty simple. Now let's do inv model dot get inventory at the start. This is just to make sure for later. This will print what we have in our inventory, all right? Let's go here. Local layout equals frame. Nope. In this case, inventory. Find first child. UI grid layout. You could be wait for child. Same thing. Just local inventory. Wait, okay, so that's why I made a frame. This is frame now because here we have inventory. Yeah, it's all right. Frame inventory equals this. Copy this and paste it. So now we have a new inventory of the player. This will be different for everyone since it's a local script. Basically with this UI grid layout, like I explained, it's a bunch of cubes. We're going to change them now. Layout.cell size determines the size of each element, aka each box, equals udim 2, make sure it's 2, dot new, in this case I'll be using 200. Right, that just means how much space in between each pad or box. Okay. Here, I'll add this later actually. It'll be too confusing right now. Alright. If you don't know how to use a for loop, search it up. For I item in I pairs of inventory do local button. This will be an image button, so you can actually click on it You could make a text button, you could make it whatever you want, but in my case it'll be image button equals instance.new image button button.size equals using.new, and we want to make sure this is the same size as the each square. So in this case it'll be 0 100 0 100. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Now here, before we actually make it into items, we're just gonna have it as decals, right? So we're going to go into here. We're going to make another module script really quickly. This is, you could use with items. I'm going to do this in the second tutorial, but this is just to make it simpler now. This is item images. I'm going to paste this into here. And now you can put whatever image you want, wherever you want it. For example, in my case, let me just go get my images. I'll be right back. Alright, so coming back, I made a script which references the image module, which references these decals I have, each looking like this. Adding them to the inventory. Let's say we want to add a bunch of these. Let's say we want to have a bunch of these. Simply multiply it. It doesn't look good, but you're never gonna have that happen. Back here, we made sure it's item.texture, not image, texture. Because if you go into the decal, you see it's called texture, not image, unlike image label or image button. Make sure you have the name, and make sure the parent is set to frame, or in this case, my frame is the inventory. Now we press play. Oh wow, I have so many of these items in my inventory. We're almost done with this part 1. All that is left is to add an X button to close it and to add an inventory icon to open it. Let's start with the X. Over here, inventory, move it over really quickly. The main frame is really useful here because I can just add an image button and put it here, always in the corner. Make it really quickly, size 0 50 0 50. And not image button, sorry, text button. You could have it as an image, but I like to have my X buttons as text. Let's go ahead and make 0 50 0 50. Move this over into the corner. Make sure the background color is red, or whatever you want the button's background color to be. Now I'm gonna go over to the text. Set this just to X. Set the size to probably 40. This sounds pretty good. Now choose a font. I like Luckiest Sky. It works good with some UIs, but the issue is sometimes over top. So here I would put the text alignment to bottom. And look, would you look at that? Pretty perfect, right? Set this to close in. Pretty self-explanatory. Usually you would use text scaled for things that change, but this X, it's always going to be X. You don't need it. Let's make it so that the text color is perfect. It's black. Make sure this Z index is higher. It looks a little bit weirder now. So let's make this 13. Looks a bit better. Go over to text stroke. This you don't need to, but for me I just like the way it looks. Texture stroke 0, and let's make sure this color is I'll probably do a little bit of orange. Don't know why it looks like that, I'll be honest. Here we're going to add a UI corner, basically just curves the thing. Too much, yeah. Nope, still too much. Much better. Don't know why it's so bland. See what happens if I move it out. Oh yeah, I see what's happening here. This thing has a hot. If we close this, it's a lot brighter for some reason. Which means the Z index did not work for whatever reason. Set the Z index to -1. Don't know why that did it, but it did. That's 2. Now it looks nice and bright. Have it in the corner all the time. Here we add a close inventory script. Or you could have like this, or you could always have it You could have it in this script if you really want to. You could reference this button if you want to have it all in one script. But for simplicity, I'll just make it here. Make it close in. And do local inv is equal to script.parent with .parent. That's the frame now. .parent screen GUI. Now .inventory. Local button equals script.parent button dot mouse button one down, which means aka clicked, connect a function to it. Oops. And we're going to do inv dot visible equals false and button dot visible equals false. Check it out. Oh, cool. Let's add the last inventory thing over here. Let's in the same mainframe. Let's add an image button. Put this here, and for this image, we're going to add another image. I have one already saved. I think it's this one. Let's create it. Yep, perfect. Here I'm going to set the background color to let's think, something like this thing's background color, maybe like 83, just like that, and transparency to 0.65, just to make it look a little bit nice. But now it looks really weird because that's a cube. So open in, add here UI corner for obvious reasons. I like this to be like maybe a little bit, maybe like 30. I actually wonder what happens if I put 390. Oh, makes a perfect circle. Makes sense. 28. That looks pretty good. If you ask me, that looks nice. I like it. And that should be it. All that's left is to add local script. Basically, thing is this. Let's go close in. Open in. Literally just copy this. But instead here we do true. And yep, that actually works because script.parent. But here we do not want this button to be invisible. Instead the button is going to be script.parent dot open in, and close in. There we go. Now this should work. Let's try it. Close it, open it. What did I do? Maybe I missed it. Maybe this, yeah, this is probably incorrect. That's why you don't copy script, kids. It'll be messed up. Trust me, it will be messed up. The inventory. That should work. No idea what this. Oh, see. Should have thought of that. Now it should work. This will 100% work now. Yes. Perfect. Whoa, that's an ugly overlay. This is what I was going to add before, but it would be confusing. So now I'll do it instead. Going to the show inventory, we are going to add something called I forget, wait. I'm stupid. Oh yeah, UI padding. Shoot. Okay. Local. Okay, padding left means it's gonna be padding it from the left side. And no, not padding from the left side. It's gonna be, whatever we put in here, it will be padded by that much from the left side, meaning nothing can be put. Here I'll probably put 50, that should be fine. And make sure to set the parent. And that should be it, right? Yeah, perfect. Sorry about all these interruptions in the video. It's like 3 p.m. I just came from school. I have extracurriculars in an hour, but I will take time to edit this at 2 a.m. Don't worry. Once again, I got interrupted. I will make a part 2 where I add an inspector. One sec, let me close this so I can open up the other one and show you how it looks. This should be it. Yes, perfect. So in the next episode, I'll show you how to add it instead to items like sword, wand, and it'll have an inspector. And you can actually equip them, etc. Show the damage. I don't know why it says no. I'll fix that in a sec. Yeah, you get the point, guys. That will be in the next video though, because I don't want this video to be 12 hours long. Anyways, see ya.